Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome. This is Somaliland National Television. You're watching the English news program with me, Mohammed Jibril. Here the stories make local headlines. The Vice President of Somaliland, Abdurrahman Abdullahi Saylici, held a meeting with the Norwegian delegation at his office. First Lady of Somaliland held a meeting with the Norwegian delegation. Minister of Resettlement held a meeting with a delegation from Switzerland. Somaliland Minister of Labour and Social Affairs made a public announcement for the government employees. The Vice President of Somaliland, Abdurrahman Abdullahi Saylici, held a meeting with the Norwegian delegation at his office. The Vice President of Somaliland held a meeting with the Norwegian delegation at his office. Somaliland Vice President Abdurrahman Abdullahi Saylici held a meeting with the Norwegian delegation who spent and held meeting with the officials of Somaliland government for the last few days. This delegation introduced themselves as a Norwegian social servant consisting of 12 people. Abdurrahman Abdullahi Saylici explained Somaliland to the delegation and their effort to gain its rightful recognition. The chair of the Norwegian delegation spoke at the event and stated,
I am Marit Hannes from the chair of this Norwegian delegation. We have visited here now for almost a week, and we are very impressed of what you have achieved since I was here last time in 2011. We can really see that you are concerned about reconstructing your country, and that you emphasize peace and democracy for the population of your country. So we'd like to bring back to our country, the Nordic countries actually, not only Norway, more information about this country, because there is very little knowledge about the Horn of Africa, and most of the medias have been negative when something negative happens. We want to go back and tell that there's a difference in the Horn of Africa, and there is a small country called Somaliland which really strive for peace and for democracy for the population.
First Lady of Somaliland, Amina Mohammed Jirde, held a meeting with the Norwegian civil society's delegation at the Presidential Palace of Somaliland.
The members of the delegation consisted of senior representatives from Norway, civil members, and other members from private companies in Norway. The visit of the delegation was to embark an assessment mission to explore the situation of the country, following that they heard more about the development attained by the nation. The First Lady explained the delegation the historical development aspects of the country to convince them that Somaliland is an independent country, unlike Somalia, according to the huge progress it attained since its declaration.
I welcome our friends here from the Nordic countries visiting Somaliland. Friends coming and observing what is happening in Somaliland is always an asset for us, because the world should know that we are getting on with our lives. We are developing peace and development and democracy and human rights, and that is the message we would like people to take back with them when they come to us. And I thank all of you very much, and I hope you enjoy your stay in Somaliland for the rest of your time here.
Mrs. Maritime, who was leading the delegation, spoke to the press after their meeting and stated,
we are very honored and grateful for this reception and the way we have been received and taken care of here in Somaliland. As well, we are very impressed by what we have seen here happening the last periods. We can only wish you the best of luck for the rest of the development, and we can assure you that we will be behind you and support you as much as we can.
Thank you so much.
Minister of Resettlement Ahmed Abdi Kahin, accompanied by the officials of the ministry, held a meeting with the delegation led by the State Minister of Switzerland Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Minister of Resettlement Ahmed Abdi Kahin, accompanied by the officials of the ministry, held a meeting with the delegation led by the State Minister of Switzerland Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. M. Reuser. The minister and the delegation paid visit to the Digale refugee camp to assess the lifestyle of the residents. Director General of Somaliland Ministry of Resettlement, speaking to reporters of Somaliland National Television, informed the delegation on the living standard of the displaced individuals living in Digale refugee camp. The director also sent gratitude to the Switzerland government for their concern and their cooperative role. Somaliland Minister of Resettlement also spoke at the event and elaborated on the living standards of the displaced residents of Digale refugee camp. Minister Ahmed Abdi Kahim admired the task of NRC organization toward the displaced people in the capital, mainly those living in Digali refugee camp. State Minister of Switzerland, Minister of Foreign Affairs, speaking at the event, stated,
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Mr. Yves. I came to Switzerland, from Switzerland, because the people of Switzerland are collecting money for the international organization, and this money comes to Somaliland and to this camp, and I come here to see what is being done. I've listened very carefully to what the elders said and to the message to the ministers. To be frank, for me the most important thing is the children and the education of the children, because only with education they can move on and lead a life somewhere else when they will be big. That's why the most important house in the camp is the school. And that's why Switzerland will fund the furniture of the new school that has been built in the camp. And what is important for me is that the mothers send the kids to the children to the school.
Somaliland Minister of Labour announced that the public servants will be 2 days off due to the Eid festivals on Saturday and Sunday. Somaliland Minister of Labour and Social Affairs announced that the public servants of Somaliland will be on holiday for the 2 days of Eid, Saturday and Sunday. Those 2 days will be a chance for the government employees who dedicated their precious time on serving the public of Somaliland to spend some time with their families and beloved ones. The head of Somaliland Civil Servant Institution, Mohammed Mahila Bakore, also published a public letter to announce the holiday for the government employees on Eid Festival, which is expected to be on Saturday, the 4th of October. He also sent gratitude to the public servants all over the different parts of the nation for the valuable work they serve to the public of Somaliland. Saturday and Sunday will be enough for the government employees to spend some memorial time with their beloved ones, he mentioned in an announcement paper he signed. Mohammed Mahila Bakore also commemorated the President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silanyo, on the Eid Festival. You still tune to the English news program of Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for international headlines. U.S. Secretary Service Director Juliana Pearson resigned, appearing to take the blame for multiple breaches of security at the White House.
U.S. Secret Service Director Julia Pearson resigned on Wednesday, appearing to take the blame for multiple breaches of security at the White House, including a recent intrusion. The day before, Pearson questioned by Congressional Committee about how a man engaged to charm the White House fence and enter the building. She admitted there had been unacceptable follows in the protection of the U.S. President and his family. On September 19th, Iraq War veteran Omar Ghazali made into the restroom with a knife before being disarmed and arrested. The 42-year-old pleaded not guilty in the court on Wednesday to unlawful entry while carrying a weapon. Gonzalo, who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, was sent for a mental competence review. 3 days before the break-in, President Barack Obama shared an elevator with a private security contractor who had previous criminal record and was armed. Pearson became the first female director of Secret Service in March 2013. At the time, she was lauded as the person to turn around the agency's tarnished reputation.
That's all the news we have for you tonight. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.